notification said you're live.
I don't know how to get to it.
You probably have to refresh because I had to restart. Yeah, JJ's back. Is that better, JJ? Something happened on our
Can
side.
you do it? 'Cause I don't know how to do it.
What are you doing? It's right there, just on the main FYP.
I don't know how to use that stuff. It's too much.
Right there. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm blaming the heat. Just the easy answer. It killed our live earlier today on the other channel. So I'm just blaming the heat. Or all these cicadas, which I assume you can hear. They're a tad bit loud.
Where's Phoenix been? He wasn't here yesterday either.
Yeah. I'm thinking about it. You are correct. You can hear that, right, JJ? When you say bike ride, do you mean like
Motorcycle?
pedaling, like bicycle, or do you mean like motorcycle?
I bet motorcycle.
Well, welcome in, Vanessa. And as weird as this sounds, and I don't mean this to be trolling, are you with your sister, or is that because you and your sister make the content for your channel? Which I think is awesome because, I assume that's on our end, Mary. And again, I'm blaming the heat. Just gonna blame the heat for everything. The fact that I'm uncomfortable, these cicadas are overly loud. The dog, on the other hand, for whatever reason, refuses to go in the shade.
These are the shades. They'll tie to the
Oh, he is. Never mind. The dog's a genius. He's in the bushes shade. Never mind, bud. I shouldn't say that about you. You're the smartest dog ever. I didn't give enough credit. I didn't even look. I just saw nothing but light in the front yard. He's a big boy, and he found a shade for his whole body. Good for him.
It just got me wet.
I'm hoping it's not birds,
No, it wasn't a bird.
'cause that's gross. So yeah, Mary, you had said it was 61 earlier, and that is like ideal.
It's raining. For real.
Oh my gosh, it is. I don't know if you can see this, and I don't know if it's going to last long, but if you look through there, it is sunny, but raining. What is it? What is... I mean, there is a little tiny cloud above us.
You can't see it on the live.
That's crazy. I mean,
Weird.
it's not raining hard enough that
I mean, it's
the tree's blocking it out. Welcome in, Bloody. Oh, is that Is that Motley Crue, JJ? Welcome in, Star.
It's literally like the tiniest little blob. It's tiny.
So I always ask this, and I know for some people it may not be the appropriate time. What did everyone have for dinner? So, Star, we typically go live once a day on this channel, and we just hang out and catch up on the day. For anybody in the community that just wants to stop by, say hello, let us know how the day went, just hang out. And since we are a faceless channel, we try to put something in front of us. Sometimes it's a dog, and sometimes it's an LED bug candle. You probably can't tell, but you can see that little purple hue. By lighting this wick, which is a citronella candle, this thing changes colors. It's the craziest thing ever. Okay, so Mary, funny you say that because Mama had chili cheese, or chili macaroni and cheese.
Oh, it was so good.
And so it must have been a chilly day for everybody. That's perfect. My day was all right. So it was work all day, and then made dinner, came out here. I wish the temperature was a little bit cooler. It's kind of insanely hot. Son's down the street at his friend's playing in the water, so he's staying cool. Mama's out here chilling with me. The dog's in his favorite place in the yard. So all things considered, we're doing well. Thanks for asking, though. Hey, I appreciate you, Star, and for what it's worth, right back at you. We are believers, so we appreciate you. He's rolling down the road, speeding on the motorcycle to kickstart my heart.
I don't know what song that is.
Are you serious? Can't kickstart my heart. Oh God, it's not my favorite. Motley Crue is not my favorite band. I don't have a problem if people like them.
Oh, look at this worm thing.
Yeah, it's dropping from the tree.
Well, it's gonna die.
No, let him be. He didn't do anything to you. Grab his... Well, you should have put him in the yard. Ding dong. No worries, Mary. We'll be here. At least until unless this rain really opens up. Right now, it's just sort of spitting on us.
Where'd it go?
The thing?
Yeah.
It's right there. I can see it.
Oh.
You need to relax. Go to it.
I just feel like there's bugs all over me.
It's the sound of the cicadas that are making you think that.
And I'm itchy and... Well, what was in it?
Yeah, what were the ingredients? Maybe we could help you out, because I like to cook, and Mama's got Scandinavian roots, and we also watch a lot of cooking stuff, so we might be able to give you a name of it if you had the ingredients.
Was there fish in it?
Was it a side dish, a main dish, a dessert? So it was on the radio? It wasn't like on a playlist? Well, that's even better. I think my problem with Motley Crue more than anything is I'm not a huge Vince Neil vocals guy. It's kind of like how too much GNR starts to wear on me because Axl Rose in the right setting, the right mood is great, but too much of it. I cannot make this up if I tried, chat. It is literally raining on us and not raining across the street.
I'm sure. Yes,
We were at Santa's Village, they closed the pool for 30 minutes. And Bloody, also, while you're getting back to us on the ingredients, do you like going to Maryland? How did it end up on everyone's, I assume, headset if you're wearing helmets, if it was on a playlist? That's wild. Slow your roll, guys. Slow your roll.
Venus doesn't care that it's raining.
I thought you said he doesn't like the rain.
He doesn't.
It's because of Giga Kia. Oh, whoa. That sounds like IKEA furniture. I just asked her, it was...
Oh, Swedish meatballs are delicious.
Oh, there you go. Okay, that makes sense then, Bluetooth. Welcome back, Mary. That makes more sense. So you guys are riding in a pack. Cover the camera for... So you want me to cover the camera? Welcome back, Audencio. I don't know what happened before, but apparently our Wi-Fi just said, nah, that was long enough. Okay, so Mom or Mary, when you say barbecue, so do you make meatballs and then put them in like a barbecue sauce and like the crock pot? I keep bumping this rock, so I'm gonna move that rock. Here, I'll make it look a little more like ambiance. Ooh, welcome in, King. All right, is this hand okay? I've had that. Now, I will tell you, Mary, where we're from, the standard with that is not meatballs. It's to use little smokies.
Oh, no.
In the barbecue sauce?
No.
That is definitely the standard at potlucks.
No.
I agree to disagree.
Okay.
Appreciate you, King. We're happy to have you.
Oh, most loose meatballs, no thank you.
That's like Molly and Denali. And I'm saying that with all due respect, Mary. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Phoenix, how you doing? Mama was asking for you. Oh, Mary was kidding. So, son grew up watching PBS Kids, and Molly and Denali is one of the shows, and they eat a lot of moose and a lot of caribou. So let me go back. So OJL, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if you guys just clipped me or something. I have no idea what the hand reveal thing is, so you'll have to fill me in on that later. But thank you for subbing, King. Welcome in, Games. Yeah, we lived on PBS Kids. Son still watches some Arthur, but the rest of the stuff he kind of aged out of. Which, I'm not going to lie to you, I'll still get down on some Nature Cat. I love Nature Cat. Yeah, what are you guys been having fun? Phoenix, you've been with friends hanging out? See? Bloody says his other grandma from Indiana makes it with little smokies. Told you. Mama doesn't know what she's talking about. Between you, me, and everybody in the world that can hear this, Mama doesn't do any of the cooking. So, I do all the cooking. I'm going to step back. Check. Can you grab those two on the ground? I'm going to get under the awning because...
Till this passes?
Yeah. Because the rain's actually raining right now. Wild Kratts was a big hit for a long stretch in the house, Phoenix.
Oh, wow.
Big hit.
How weird. I'm going to go inside for a second.
Okay. Here, let me put the jug in with you so we can open the door for you. Yeah, so what it's worth here, chat, if you can see, that's the sun. And this is it. So, Mary, I want to. You just got to find 97,500 of your friends to subscribe. So the deal is, for privacy reason, until Son's 18, or we hit 100,000 subscribers. And so that was always a joke when we were at like 50 subscribers. And, you know, now that we're at 2,500, not unreasonable, but I don't know that we'll ever get there. But 18. The good news is I haven't aged a day in the last day. Bloody, I don't know that did I say he or she? If I did, I apologize. I just kept saying bloody. I typically keep it gender agnostic if I can, especially since I've made the mistake before. But if I did, I apologize. $50,000. I will make you a deal. You get us to 50,000, you can have my face because he'll still be a minor. You get us to 100,000, you get both. I can agree to that. I'm not gonna lie, chat. I'm gonna have nowhere to sit after this is done because where is this coming from? That is seriously no joke. That is the sun. What? What? Baby, stop going to the channel page. Go to the FYP.
I don't know what that means.
It's the For You page. Stop searching for us. Sorry, chat. Hold on. We didn't have mods in earlier, Phoenix, so Mama went on one of the other devices and was doing any moderation because we had somebody coming in that was being a little. We had a first live that died on us because the internet died, and we had somebody that was getting real spicy with us because we called soccer instead of football, and then he started making comments against Americans and everything else. So Mama had to jump in on one of the other from one of the other channels and moderate. Welcome in, TechnoCell. I can absolutely do that, Kimberly. Sorry, I was helping Mama out there. Happy birthday, Nicole. Sorry, I was about to say happy birthday, Kimberly, because of your username. But happy birthday, Nicole. Phoenix, is that from a song? I don't even know what that means, but it got me chuckling. But welcome back, TechnoCell. Is that a kitty? I can't see many of the images of people's things, but that looks like a little orange baby cat. And you got a second happy birthday from Mary, Mama Bear. And yeah, Phoenix, if I was to say it that way in the European sense, I would say football. This is absolutely wild. Baby, is this rain coming from that direction? Yeah, that's why we don't see it. Okay, the rain is actually coming from behind me. So bloody. That's Europeans call soccer football, but they pronounce it foot. So they say football. So Phoenix was right. And so somebody in here was very upset because we were talking about different sports. And in talking about different sports, we called it soccer because in America we have a different sport that we call football. And I just got something I got to put. Well, hello, that's an interesting name. I've never heard that before, Phoenix. But I just put something on my to-do list here. Apparently that gutter needs the downspout cleaned, so good news is the ladder's out. Foosball is an awesome game, and we actually, I love foosball. I used to play foosball all the time. If we're talking about foosball, like the little stick guys, or if we're talking about the water boy, that's how Bobby Boucher's mom referred to football. Either way, it's a great call out. All right, Kimberly, you're on your third happy birthday if you're still here. So I'm interested, JJ. You're from what I would consider a southern state, although it's definitely coastal compared to Phoenix. Is that a phrase that you guys use for when the sun's out but it's raining? It's quite all right, bloody. You don't have to go that far, and nobody's calling you uneducated in any way, shape, or form. Sometimes we live in the spheres we live in, and we like the sports we like. But funny enough, I was asked in the previous live what my favorite sport was, and hockey was it. So I played hockey my whole life. Believe it or not, I started skating when I was 2, and I actually made it all the way up to playing semi-pro. So. And Mary, are you saying, oh my God, because I'm standing underneath the overhang in this, what I thought was, see, there you go. Shy. Phoenix. Shy is probably local to me based on the Chicago flag as the picture and the name. That's what I'm used to calling it, a sun shower. So when you used what you used, I was a little unfamiliar with the terminology. That's awesome, bloody. What position do you play? So are you in Chicago proper, Shy, or are you in the burbs? Or did you relocate and you're no longer in Chicago? All right, I'm sorry. I have to tuck in because it's now coming to get me, so I'm going to go behind the storm door at this point. That is insane. Baby, can you take this? I'm going to try to salvage our LED light in case it's not already broke. Look off that direction.
Where are your other devices?
In my pocket.
Oh, okay.
Hold
Holy
on.
cow.
Yeah. That was crazy talk.
I'm going to text when you step home after that.
Okay. Okay, sorry, I'm getting caught up. Oh, so you're city proper. Okay. So yeah, Shy, we're out in the burbs. But anybody ever asks, it's always easier from outside of Chicago to just say you're from Chicago. But we're only a metro away from getting there. Yeah, if you look on the map, this one's completely over the burbs. I'll accept that, JJ. Rain with sunshine. It's that. Oh. Wait, what did I miss there? You had an earthquake this morning for real life? 5.7. Was that enough to move you? Oh, I got you, bloody. Hey, that's awesome. If you enjoy doing it, it's the way to go. Baby, where are you at? Can you turn on the game? Since I popped in and can see the TV, just see what the score is. Sorry, I wanted to play the All-Star game. Thank gosh, Mama brought in the portable TV because we would have been scrambling to get that in before the rain. That was crazy. Anthony, I'm a little confused, no lie. You wrote no English. That's English. So you got some English.
What on TV?
I appreciate you hanging out here. Maybe the only one that's hooked up to the antenna is the one that's presently on wrestling for some reason. So, yeah, if Shy's still here, we watched GN News, and apparently when we went outside to start the live, the news was still on, and now WGN apparently has wrestling on. And I'm trying to catch the All-Star game a little bit. Okay. Yeah, we're about a half hour, 35 minutes from Schaumburg. However, I worked there for years, and we go there all the time because of Woodfield and all the different stuff to eat and do out there. Welcome in, Renaud. And Anthony, if you're still here, you're more than welcome to hang. Shroomy brain. Yeah, the problem we've had is it was miserable hot today, and because we've had rain over the last week or so, the humidity was just absolutely ridiculous today. Before this rain hit, I was sitting out on that chair seconds ago, and we weren't even moving, and I was sweating. It's about 95, 96 here right now, so I'm right with you. What's TSB, Decio? I will say Phoenix. So here's a great example. One of the ones we don't say is, and this is no, I know where you're from, so it makes total sense saying y'all. We say folks or guys, and guys is not gender specific. Guys just means people. So we never, ever, ever, ever say y'all. For the most part, there are people that'll say it on occasion, but. Oh, 100%. Shy, do you ever go to training camp? I haven't been in a couple years, but some of those days down there watching them at camp are brutal. Just absolutely brutal, the heat. Well, welcome in from Georgia. I don't know that we've ever had anybody announce they're from Georgia, so welcome in. That's awesome. Strongest battlegrounds. Okay. Yeah, everyone's got regional things. So a great example, we were talking about this before because the company I worked for a while was based out of Minnesota. So like in our area, we have what we call potlucks. So that means just like everyone brings to Mary's point, you bring the barbecue meatballs or the barbecue sausages or whatever you got, and everyone brings a dish to pass. In Minnesota, for example, they call that a hot dish. And so they have hot dish dinners. So there's definitely a regionalness. I will say another one, Phoenix. You'll never hear anybody call it a soda up here. It's a pop. So if it's carbonated and it's got some sort of flavoring, it's a pop. If it's carbonated and has no flavoring, that's a soda. Welcome in, Ish. Hey, don't worry about people judging you, JJ. As long as you're okay with what you're doing and you're not impeding on anybody else's freedoms or space, you're good to go in my book. Yeah, I've been out there before, and you never know what's going to hit, but you're just out there in that brutal sun, and it's just insanely wicked out there in Bourbonnais. But I'm old enough to remember going up to see him in Platteville, so if that puts it in perspective for you. Granted, I was a kid, but I went up to Platteville to see him a few times. Okay, so you do potlucks as well. 50 miles north of Atlanta. So we have family down right outside of Atlanta. What?
Was it Lillibird?
Okay, so
Lilburn? Something like that.
Can you say it again?
Lilburn, I think
okay.
It's called.
And then I actually once upon a time worked for a company that was based in Kennesaw. So I did make one trip down there for that, and then I did make a football trip growing up down to Atlanta. Yeah, see, Shy says pop 100%. It's not soda. You can get a scotch and soda. That just means carbonated water without flavoring of any kind. You get a vodka soda. You get something with soda. That's soda water. So we're like due west. We don't give the specific city for privacy reasons, but we are due west of the city. But we're about as far out as you can get. Right past that tree line right there is what we call the corn curtain. It is literally nothing but corn to Iowa from there. So we're as far out in the burbs as you can get, but still be in the burbs. So we're in the connected burbs. So it's not like we're from, you'll know this if you're from Chicago. We're not from the Ferd. Yep. Because I've heard people from Rockford say that they're in the burbs. I'm like, no, you're not. You're your own thing. When the suburbs end and you pick up again, you're your own thing. But there are Queen of Hearts everywhere by us. Everywhere. Everyone does them. You're Bill Elliott. Okay. So that was back in the day when we used to watch NASCAR. Bill Elliott was still racing. We do not have a Buc-ee's. Our big ones are Pilots and Dick Trickle was the best. Did somebody say that? Yes. Dick Trickle is the best name ever in the history of mankind. What's our other ones? Pilots and Road Ranger is our other big ones. They're not like Buc-ee's though. No, don't confuse the two.
Casey's.
Yeah, Casey's is pretty big too. Yeah, don't confuse the two. They're not one and the same, but that's about as big as we get.
Is he talking about Buc-ee's, like the guy we just watched on?
Yeah, like the food place. Like
how to go there?
Yeah, it'd be awesome to go to Buc-ee's. I've never been, but see, I knew Shy knew what I was talking about when he say the Ferd. So it's kind of cool having a local person in because that's a great example, Phoenix. You would ask like what local people say. So there's certain ones like that, like outside of here, nobody know what any of that meant. That is true. So Shy, that's 100% true. I've watched one too many YouTube videos of people that like will only eat at Buc-ee's for a week or only, eat at Buc-ee's for 24 hours straight or stay at a Buc-ee's for 24 hours straight type of videos. And it is. I think their minimum number is 110 pumps. So if they cannot build 110 pumps, they won't choose that location. And then the stores are like the size of a Jewel. Which there's another great example, Phoenix. So if you're going to any store, it doesn't matter. You're running to Jewel. Like you could go to any store for groceries. You're still running to Jewel. I'm heading to Jewel. You need anything? Doesn't mean you're actually going to Jewel. I've heard that too. So everyone in there says basically you can't leave. It's like kind of going to Sam's or Costco. You can't get out without spending a lot more than you ever intended to spend. And on stupid stuff you never intended to buy, which is exactly what Sam and Costco does. Cool. Your girlfriend's really country? Are you saying that because Mama said it with the S? I refuse to say it with the S.
I don't say it like that. No, I don't.
But it is said very often, the Jewels. I mean, you can if you want. I don't think there's a concern about him getting wet. Yeah. Probably just hanging in the garage. They're probably going to send him.
I sent a text.
So tell him you just gotta get up in the morning, baby. I don't know what to tell you. So who was your favorite racer growing up, Super? Danny, where's the matchbox? Am I missing something? Are you talking about Mama's car? Because if you are, I don't disagree with you. That bad boy is a hybrid and it gets like 50 miles a gallon. Whereas my truck gets about 13. So Shy, if you're still here, I gotta ask you, what's your favorite beef? Because that's a big question for anybody here. And it's another great example, Phoenix. Anybody outside of here, you say, hey, let's go get a beef. It's going to confuse people. They're going to be like, what? Like a steak, like a burger? Like, you say that to anybody from Chicago, we know what you mean. Danny.
Wow, he doesn't like the American.
I know.
What is going on?
My guy, you're welcome to hang. We love to have people from everywhere with all different views, but just be constructive with it. That's their home. They enjoy it. That is so cool, Rudy. I'm not kidding. If that's for real life, that is so cool. Okay, so you were an Earnhardt. In fairness, Mom and I were Junior fans, but I also did like Tony Stewart a lot. Well, welcome in, Jim, from Idaho Falls, Idaho. Now, I can say we have somebody that's from Georgia, and I think that's the first announcement or confirmation we have from Georgia. One of our OGs who's not here, but I saw him in our other channels live, so on our Cook and Eat It channel earlier today. He's also from Idaho. So you come in good company.
Where is Danny from? That he's so hateful.
I don't know that it's hateful. I think it's just misdirected. I again, this is one of those times where somebody's trying to get a reaction out of people. And again, Danny, I don't know what to tell you, bud. I can only speak for myself and not Americans as a whole. But you're welcome here. Open up a dialogue. Talk to us, because there's a lot of Americans in the chat. Talk to us. You'll find out that there's more, just like any country. There's a lot of different people, a lot of different personalities, and a lot of different beliefs. We are a very inclusive environment here, so you're welcome to be here. But keep it constructive and open up a dialogue. Let's have a conversation. So Gordon, okay. So my aunt and uncle were huge Gordon fans. Well, my house has brick and a private property sign. And they do have some brick on it. But nonetheless, I digress. So they had bought so much Gordon merch. They had like a tire that was used in a race. They had track suits. They had all this stuff. And it was a big debate because their kids all like different racers. And their son, my cousin, was a big Stewart fan. My other cousin, I forget who she liked. I think it was Rusty Wallace, mainly because of the Miller Lite car. Or was it, who drove the Coors Light car? Sterling Marlin. So it could have been there. Well, I appreciate you, Nope. Welcome in. Welcome to the community. So does anybody that's bringing out these OG racer names, which is taking me back to my days when I was into NASCAR as well, do you guys currently keep up with it now? Welcome in, KT. So was that pre or Phoenix? Was that pre or post peanut M&Ms? Because I know when Bush got it, it was the peanut colors most of the time, not the traditional colors. He's right there, baby. Well, congratulations. Nope, that's honorable, and I'm being dead serious.
I think he was saying that because you were shaking.
Oh, if you're saying that because I was shaking, I'm getting rained on, my guy. So no, it's I'm literally getting rained on. You can see the standing rain, so I'm like wiping my hair and my head and trying to keep it off the phone. So no, it's
My dude.
okay. So both I liked when they put the traditional brown design. KT, are you asking? Are you asking me, or are you asking JJ? And I'll be honest with you, for real life,
Did you get stuck in the rain? Huh?
Danny, welcome in. I think you're the first person that ever let me know they were from Denmark. I don't disagree. I welcome the rain. I just didn't want the phone to get wet. And I'm enjoying it because of how hot I was all day. For real life? So is the baseball team like a minor league team? Yeah, the problem for us, Jim, is it did it yesterday too for us. And what it did is it broke it for a second, but then the humidity just gets so ramped up that today the heat index was pushing almost 100 because of the humidity. And that's what this one's going to do. So prior to the rain coming down, it was like 95 degrees out here. Then the rain happened. It's dropped like 20 degrees, but you could wear the air. It is so humid. And that's what I'm not looking forward to. My brain, I don't know what to do with that one. You're welcome in, but try to keep it productive. If is that for real, Danny? What are the average rainfalls per event? Because that's a lot of rain. Okay. No, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Baby, can you get my can you hand me back my water, please? Is it fast pitch or is it softball? Huh. Didn't know that, Danny. And see, that's awesome. That's something I'd like to find out more about because I actually like learning about other places, other situations, other countries. So that's probably the most similar I could say to that would be in the U.S. would be like Washington. So they get rain, I think 60% of the days a year, some sort of precipitation. Well, welcome in, Patrick. Patrick, I'm going to keep that one hidden. And yeah, you're welcome to be in if you're being productive, but that's not helpful to anybody. That's awesome. So the reason I ask is where I'm from, both no glove, like mush ball. So 16-inch softball is a huge thing, and then unlimited arc, 12-inch hard softball is a big thing. So I actually played that for years after I stopped playing fast pitch baseball. And so I know a lot of guys go into that later in life. But I did have some buddies that didn't want to give up fast pitch baseball, and so they went into adult fast pitch leagues. So that's awesome. It's okay, Phoenix. Don't worry about it. Mama was on it. So I told you, Mama was cleaning up the chat earlier today. I would say so, Danny. But I mean, you made a great point earlier. No lie, that it's no bad weather, just bad clothing. So to your point, I'm literally in a cotton shirt and like jogging shorts, which are very absorbent and have taken on a lot of this rain. I tried to stay under the overhangs, which did an all right job for a while, but didn't keep it permanently off me. But again, that was the wildest pop-up storm ever, and in fairness, it's still sunny and blue skies. So it does, and the stuff that usually keeps you from getting soaked doesn't breathe well, doesn't move as well as you'd like. So there's definite trade-offs. But we're welcoming the rain in our area. We've been in almost like a 3-year drought. So we'll take it where we can get it. And this goes back to earlier when Mary was in the conversation. It hasn't snowed here in basically 3 years. And that snowfall is part of your annual like precipitation total. And when you're used to getting 30 plus inches a year and you get 4, that knocks you down quite a bit. So it's put us in a pretty heavy multi-year drought. So the problem is, like you just saw, the rains we tend to get are very quick, very fast, and because the ground's so hard, it runs off and doesn't soak in. So, but you'll take what you can get. Welcome in, Hershey. Now that one I can put 2 and 2 together. Even though the image is small, I can see that that's some sort of Hershey logo or emblem. So if that's at me, Rudy, we are not in the area where people make white liquor, and I'm also in the area where iced tea is not sweet tea, and fried okra can only be gotten at southern restaurants. However, I'm not against any of those items. So a place that's like that, Danny, for real life, is basically Florida. So one of the things, because of the shape of Florida and because of the Gulf and the Atlantic, all of northern Florida expects rain every afternoon. Literally every afternoon. It's just built into it. I was at Disney for a work trip in March, and when I was down there, that's what everyone talks about, is the only off season for that cycle is basically spring and fall. So winter and summer, between noon and 2, just expect rain. So you're talking, Phoenix, just to make sure, soapbox, like where you sit in the cars, right? Not the, what's the other one that you do where you make it out of like a little wood block and then put it down ramps? So I will say this to that, Phoenix. Conceptually, yes. In practicality, I've never actually done it. I've never actually seen it outside of like TV or like YouTube. So I think it'd be cool, but I've never actually practically seen it, if that makes sense. Yeah. So different environments. We're built for snow up here, and average snowfall should be 4 to 10 inches. We've gotten 4 inches per winter the last couple winters. Used to go to landing train when it's closed, nothing like. Yeah, I totally agree. So we're not far from Route 66, Rudy. I mean, far enough that it's not close, but it's still definitely doable to get tickets and go there. We love going to the nighttime races because you could see the flames coming out of the exhaust. It was so awesome. Yeah, that did a number on your power a couple of years ago there, Phoenix. Certain areas are built for it, certain areas aren't. And a lot of it has to do with the infrastructure. So Florida, I mean, they may get a dusting, and the problem is, so a lot of the world's citrus crop comes from either Brazil or Florida. And if you have a snow or a frost that goes through Florida, that's when you see like orange juice prices and citrus prices go through the roof, because it'll kill an entire season of crop. So it's a rare event for Florida. It's a rare event for Texas. And so the difference being up here, we have all the plows, we have the salt, we're built for it, whereas other communities aren't built for it, and they're growing things that can't be exposed to it. Yeah, so it was the old national highway. It went through the entirety of the country, and it snaked through the little towns and everything. But the raceway here is built alongside of a section of the Route 66 highway, which you can still take today for what it's worth. So if I was saying the number, so maybe this will make sense. So if I was saying, hey, take the road. So if I was saying, for example, take Route 20 to Route 31, I would say route. But when you say the raceway and you say 66, it's tradition to call it route. So hopefully that makes sense. And for what it's worth, Danny, I'm not actually in Florida, but we have family in Florida, and as somebody that tracks commodities and commodity prices, I know the impacts that weather can have on certain commodities, and citrus is a big one. Exactly. So same deal. Difference being is that affects wine production, whereas you're looking at limes, lemons, grapefruits, and oranges, with Florida getting hit. I have historically watched Andy Griffith. I don't currently or routinely, but watched a ton of it growing up because I did not have cable, and I was able to get it on the, it's going to show my age again, on the UHF channels. I have seen sprint car race. Oh, you asked Danny. Sorry, I was about to say. Yeah, I think we were talking about the other day, but Eric, I don't give exact, but you're welcome to guess a range, and Phoenix is close enough for government work, so we'll go with that one. 21 is a very wishful thinking, and at that point, if you saw a sun, there'd be questionable age differences there. So, Danny, if you're into sailing, so again, pardon me if you don't call it a schooners, but are you talking like a skiff size schooner, or are you talking like open sea schooner or a pontoon schooner? For what it's worth, I don't know if anybody can hear the fireworks. They're still going off from 4th of July. And again, in my state, they're illegal. I'm not gonna lie to you, Danny, if I could go back and not own a car, they are a lot of maintenance. Don't get me wrong, the freedom's nice, but you can rent a car, there's a lot of different ways to get around. But living in suburbia like we do, you have to have a car. Nice. I'll be honest with you, I've only ever partaken, my family's owned boats. The biggest sailboat we've had, I think was like a 17-footer. Because where I am, we're landlocked, but there's lakes. And so that's about as big as you can get away with on most lakes they take it on. But they always called it a schooner. But most of them were power boats. Yeah, it's kind of got like a pinkish hue here, blue there, gray there. There is a really big lake by us, but they never took the schooners on there. I did have one family member long ago when I was knee high to a grasshopper that had a very large boat that was on the Great Lake, and I was only on it to my knowledge twice, and I don't remember it. There's only pictures to prove that it happened. Yeah, see, you could get away with either of those on the Great Lakes, but there is nowhere else around us that you could make berth with a boat that size. We're more in river country than we are big water country. Although, again, to Phoenix's point, I'm in the Great Lakes region. So either of those two size ships, you could definitely get on the Great Lakes. Hello, Martello. Interesting way to enter the room. And for what it's worth, I'm actually not that big. Have you ever heard, Danny, for real life, have you ever heard of Rick Steves? And the reason I ask is I watch a lot in the US PBS, so we get a lot of European content, but this gentleman has made a career out of traveling. Thank you, Rudy. I brought a portable TV out, but the reception was so horrible I couldn't get it, and I was wondering, because there's a couple players from one of the local teams that are making their first trip to the All-Star game, and so I wanted to keep a little bit of an eye on it. So I appreciate you letting me know. But he was given a lot of details on Denmark and how a lot of the sea level was drained out and all the engineering that went into it and how it was so far ahead of its time. And I found it absolutely fascinating. So we did tours and showed how, like, it was one of the first time that the Archimedes screw was used in such a format. So found that super interesting. So what size engine do you run in that, James? So I'm talking cubic inch. I assume you know, but I just, for the rest of the chat. I completely agree, Danny. Historically, So I found that fascinating. So I try taking as much history as I can. So that's why I was not joking when I said we love people coming in from all different areas, all different perspectives, giving us information, feedback. I try to absorb it like a sponge. And so always happy to have people from all cultures, all creeds, all everything. All right, Martello. I can't disagree. No worries, Phoenix. We'll be here for a bit longer. Welcome in, lover. How's the day? How's the eye feeling? That's good to hear. If it's feeling good and you're doing good, that means that it should be on the way to healing and hopefully no infection. So glad to hear that. Martello, full disclosure, ethnically, I can relate to that. And not proudly, I've probably said it once or twice myself. Okay. So funny story, James. I had as a car guy, you'll probably know this. I have in storage a screaming chicken. So the 6.6 turbo. So definitely that displacement with that intake speaks fondly to me. But that's a good size engine. You running this weekend? For what it's worth, Martello, it's universal. When you can relate to that, it doesn't matter if it's the cat, if it's the dog, if it's somebody driving next to you that doesn't use their turn signal. That is the universal question of the universe. Well, yeah. So the 6.6 turbo is in the 73 Firebird. So it's an old muscle car. No worries, lover. We're still here. So that's an old model car. This guy over here, these are both V6s, but they get 13 miles a gallon with the wind behind them going downhill, both of them. Even though that one supposedly has displacement on demand, which means it shuts down 3 cylinders when you're cruising, which does nothing. This one I can get up to 30 on the highway. However, Mama's car is a hybrid, and we get about 50 in that. But that's a 2.9 liter 4-cylinder with the hybrid backup. There you go. That'll work, Martello. Welcome back. Welcome in, Kennedy. How are you? Seeing the LED candle that I had lit before, which changed colors, that was really cool, got rained on. That's about right, Martello. I could push that thing in neutral and get 10 miles a gallon. It aggravates me. That's exactly what happens, Danny. If I didn't need a truck, I would not have one. The van, on the other hand, comes in extremely handy for everything because I coach so much. So you can load it up with equipment, you can load it up with the team, you can load it up for vacation, you can load it up any way you can. And for those of us that are usuals in the chat, I finally put in my bug lights. So I was sick of sitting out here getting completely eaten alive. That would be a good reason to get good at transmissions, James, or JJ. I would love to be more bike friendly. This is how odd it is in America. And I get that some Americanisms are just plain ridiculous. So in order to get to the bike trails, I have a bike rack for the hitches that are on these two vehicles. And then we put our bikes on the hitches because it's not really safe to drive in the streets, as you've seen people driving around here. There's no bike lanes, and to try to ride on the sidewalk, which is where pedestrians are supposed to walk, isn't really safe too much either. So you ride to the bike trails, and there are extensive trail systems, but they are literally in nature only. They are not to get you around the city or around the town. My city has tried to make more of an effort to put in bike lanes and make it safer for using a bike throughout the city itself, but unfortunately, in order to get to the trail system where it's actually safe to ride, especially with a child, you gotta drive to it. That's awesome. Lover, do me a favor. Like I said, if you guys ever want me to check out your channels, always just go into any video, pick a short, pick a long form. If you go to a long form, please watch it all the way through, because that's the biggest thing you could do to support the channel is watch the long form, hit the like, and leave a comment. It means the world to us. But just leave a comment on one of them, because after this live goes dead, getting the archive comments, they go away for me for some reason. So find a video, leave a comment, and I will check out your channel and check out your videos for sure. So Martello, we always love to play a game if you're willing to give it a shot. So you guessed Spokane. So I will tell you, we are in the U.S., so I'll narrow it down there. So that's your first hint. If you guess another state, don't guess the city, just guess the state, because we don't give the exact city. We'll keep giving you hints as you guess until we get to where we're located. Well, Phoenix, in fairness, with you coming up on cross country, that's like free training. See, that I would love to do that, Danny. I've never, now, as weird as it sounds, I've worked from home for about 15 years. However, pre that, a lot of people say pre-COVID for work from home, but mine was well before COVID. Pre that, my work was about an hour away, so riding a bike, unfortunately, would not have been an option. I would agree, JJ, but I would say that the racing's probably still safer, in my opinion, than the motorcycles. And not that you're not safe on the motorcycle, not that you can't control the motorcycle. People have a bad habit of not seeing them very well, especially when they're driving, stuff like that, and they're distracted inside with kids and phones and everything else. So if I was your girlfriend, that's where I'd be more concerned than the actual racing, because racing, you're typically harnessed and helmet and in a controlled environment. Most of the people racing know actually what they're doing, and everyone is hyper focused. But that's just my take on it. For sure, Lover. So if you, like I said, hit us up with a comment, and then I will check it out, and I'll leave a comment on your video. So just hit us up with a comment so I can pull back to your channel, and I'll be there. I agree, Phoenix. However, I will say that lane splitting in our state is illegal, if anybody's familiar with that concept. So if you're at a light and there's 2 lanes of traffic going the same direction, motorcycles driving in between that. In certain states, it is allowed. In my state, it's illegal. It's also highly illegal to jump your motorcycle onto a sidewalk to bypass traffic. And I see motorcyclists doing it that way. So I say both are at fault. I also live about a half a mile from a major highway behind us, and I can hear people ramping up their bikes, whether they be race bikes or choppers. And so I know they're not riding very safe either, or taking into account other traffic. Well, that's a good cutoff, Danny. I would say the only thing I would say is in that 20 kilometers, take into account hills, because the older I get and the multiple surgeries I've had, both upper and lower body, hills aren't fun going up or down on a bike anymore. You're getting there, Martello, so I will give you a second clue then. We touch a Great Lake. So we are in the Midwest and we touch a Great Lake. There are states like, Pennsylvania that touch a Great Lake that are not in the Midwest. So think Midwestern state touching a Great Lake. So it's not a major highway like a. So if I say the major highway, that might help Martello in his quest, but it's not like for us, major highways like a lot of people think of major highways are like toll roads. Ours is actually a route. So it's a U.S. route. So, and it goes nation to nation, the route, but our section is a bypass section, meaning that it's open like a freeway. It's funny you say that, Lover, because we have so much water slide content, which, again, we lost like 5 subscribers today after we put out that Spirit Halloween video, which I think people that found us because of water slides and amusement parks were like, what the heck is going on? But that's the whole point of the do it all. We do it all. It's not just one thing or another. Appreciate you, Lover. I will check it out as soon as I can. Yeah. And so we're pretty flatlanders here too. But because there's so many rivers, the river valleys get pretty steep. Phoenix, are you guessing routes? Because I just see 67, I see 35. Are you guessing route numbers? Michigan's a great call. I'll tell you that's not the right state, but it is the right Great Lake. Yeah, we have very limited bike lanes. We do go live occasionally on like drives to camp and to school, and you'll see very limited bike lanes. They thankfully have started to paint them green, so people are more cognizant of them. But they're not very wide, and they're not widely available either. I didn't do that as a planned words, but actually, I don't know. The company that made my truck is based out of Michigan. I don't know if it's made in Michigan. We are not. We are in the U.S. But welcome in, Omega. So, yeah, I don't know the exact ratio of kilometers to miles, JJ, but I do know that like a 5K is like 3.5 miles. So using that ratio, I'm guessing that 20 kilometers is somewhere in the ballpark of like 15 miles. Correct. So I can tell you he's definitely in grade school, so we keep it private. Yeah, mine is not. Mine's just a standard old GMC. 3.1 miles. I knew it was roughly. Thank you, Phoenix. So, okay, so like 13 miles, which is a good bike ride. That'll get the heart pumping. And Rudy, is that like a I don't mean this wrong, Phoenix, don't take this out of context. Is that like what Phoenix did earlier with the giving us a new spin on what to call rain with sunshine, putting rubber bands on a watermelon? Have a good night. Sorry, I was talking to Mama. No, I'm nowhere near route. I think you said 67 or 35. Yeah, nowhere near those ones. So, Lover, that's what Phoenix was saying. We don't give the exact ages for privacy reasons. Same reason we don't give the exact like city, but I'll tell you the state for sure. Matthew, appreciate you back with our history fact of the day. So the progenitor of the house Hossa people, a West African ethnic group, I was said to be the Prince of Baghdad. He fled from the homeland and married an African queen. All right. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Phoenix. I don't know where those highways are. I mean, there's a lot of clues if you watch our lives enough when we're not at home, if we're driving or if we're going to camp or something like that, where you could probably figure out. But we just don't promote it for privacy reasons. It's not. It's less of a stalking thing. It's more of a, son being underage. So that's why if you ever watch any of our videos, we're faceless. So even if he comes into camera now, you see Mama all the time. Mama's in everything. She walks in front of the camera at all times. But I made a deal with him because we always get asked in the chat, and we got asked a couple times today to do a face reveal. The rule was he's got to be 18. And then I put a secondary rule as an asterisk that if we got to 100,000 subscribers, which I know we won't. And if you notice here, Danny, you've been here long enough, I don't ask for subscribers. I really want community. I want people here because they want to be here. We are not thirsty. We are here to have fun, build a community, and just share. Well, you're not too far from us, and the darkness is seeping in here. The cicadas are starting to quiet. You can hear some off in the distance where they still got some sunlight, but as soon as that sun goes down, those cicadas go whisper quiet. Yeah, none of that here, Rudy. In fairness, the only reason you see this or the thing is because we did hit the first stage of monetization, and in order to hit the second, you have to have it on. And in fairness, that's all we ever ask. If you are looking to support the channel, the best thing you could do, and it would mean the world of us, is watch some long form content, like and comment. And if you do watch it, try to watch it all the way to the end. But just pick a couple long form videos, hit the like button, hit the share, and comment. We are not here asking for money. But in order to turn on any of it, you have to turn on certain features. So you'll never hear us ask, ever. You never hear us ask for subs. We always say, if you're so inclined, we'd love to have you as part of the community. The Hossa, much like the Greeks, existed in city-states. Okay. As ethnically conscious people, they were the nucleus of their identity was the city. The city of Kano was the most prominent among the Hossa. I hope I'm saying that right. Is it Hossa? 100%, Danny. That was my rules. He came to me. He wanted a YouTube channel. And I said, that's fine. I said, but here's my ground rules, and this is how we're going to do it. And he agreed to all those, and so here we are. So Thankfully, we don't have any copperheads, Phoenix. I'll live with the cicadas. That is awesome, Lover. Actually, speaking of videos, we build a haunt walkthrough at our own house, and so I make a video of that, and then also there's a live from last year where son did his first acting gig at a haunted house. Now, in fairness, you will see him look at the camera in that, but he is in a full face costume. But that's awesome. If you like Halloween, Lover, you found the right place, because, no lie, we are going to bombard you with so much Halloween, you'll probably be sick of it. I 100% agree. I could not agree more. I'm not about that. We're extremely weirdly private people, so it took a lot for me to even concede to have a YouTube channel. And for what it's worth, we have a TikTok. It's just branded our stuff, but nowhere in there you'll see the face. You will see Mama, because Mama comes front and center, not on purpose. She just walks in front of the camera, and it's impossible to edit out. Yeah, if you find us on TikTok, I will jokingly say our image on TikTok is a dual face reveal. And if anybody finds us on TikTok and hits us with a follow, I'll follow you back. But in addition to that, you'll see exactly what I mean. It'll make total sense. It's kind of a joke. But it is a dual face reveal. It's called House A. Okay. Thank you for correcting me. That's why I asked. These were not YouTube guidelines. These were Daddy's. That sounded so bad saying that. I'm so sorry. These were Dad's guidelines. I could have put him front and center. I could have made him the face of the channel. I could have given him toys, and we could have tried to hustle toy reviews. So a great example too is I joke in a lot of our DIY videos. I'd like to thank today's sponsor, me, because everything in those videos, if we're opening it, if we're touching it, I've bought it. It is my money. So now, in fairness, for what it's worth, that channel is fully monetized. So that channel, and again, we don't ask for any money and stuff like that, but it is fully monetized. So again, because of AdSense, it does generate revenue. So the best thing you can do to support any of the Dad and Son channels, and we have 4 of them, is to watch the videos, like, share it with somebody you think might get some value out of it, and leave a comment. It means the world to us. So Rudy, do you live in an area with poisonous, venomous snakes? And thank you guys for the emojis. I appreciate it. Yeah, Xmas. Yeah, I am not familiar with either of those. Actually, 35, I think I am, from being in the Twin Cities. That makes sense. But I'm not familiar with 67. Hirsch? Sorry, I'm struggling with that. Hershey. Yeah, absolutely. We don't ask that you be sub to talk, but it makes it easier to find future lives. But yeah, feel free to talk. That's what we're here for. Did you see it, Phoenix? So it is technically a dual face reveal. You see both of our faces. Also, if you go on the page, there's the page picture, and that's Licorice, and it like sort of floats in and out. JJ, what do you mean you use Google for, like, signing in, or for which part? Okay, I'm gonna draw on there. Okay. What should you draw? Well, we've been talking about Halloween, and funny enough, when we started this channel, I told Son I wanted our channel emblems to be something he drew. So if you notice that pumpkin, that's a pumpkin. He drew that on it's like this big light up board that has markers that you draw, and then it lights up the image. And literally, that's what he picked. He picked drawing a pumpkin. So why don't you draw something Halloween based, and maybe think of like a haunted house scene. So like actual, not a haunted house like you would go to pay money to go visit a haunted house, but I'm talking like the Addams Family house. Like draw that kind of image with this kind of sky, kind of at dusk. That's what came to my mind because we're talking about Halloween. Where did Ninja Turtles come from, Phoenix? We do have a Ninja Turtle ride on the channel, a full on ride. Are you serious? 90 bites from a rattlesnake. Wouldn't they run out? Fan art would be cool. But typically fan art is like people drawing people's faces. You guys would have to draw like the peace sign. Because that's how I sign off every night. And so for what it's worth, we did, I got these for Son and I. And you can't see it, but I chose... it's right there. Can you see it there? I chose the pumpkin on there because that's what he drew for the channel. Oh, okay. Okay, I got you, JJ. If somebody could draw Remus, that would be phenomenal. That's my baby boy. Number 2, I should say. You could. That's a pretty easy thing to draw. But in fairness, Danny, I will say 9.9 trips out of 10, we take Mama's car because of that reason. So the truck is used, and the reason it's backed in right now is because I had to help my mom clean gutters, do stuff like that. And so there's ladders in the back end. There's a bunch of stuff in the back end. So the truck is used the way a truck should be used. I'll be the first to admit, I'm not proud to have a car that gets 13 miles a gallon. That's one of the usuals that comes in here is from the UK. And I saw him earlier in our cooking live. And he's fascinated by the fact that in America, because if you can see in the background, that truck's bigger than mine, that truck's bigger than mine, that truck's bigger than mine, that people in the U.S. all have trucks. Now, in fairness, my neighborhood is predominantly blue collar. So a lot of these folks are using it for what they should be used for. They are not show trucks or trend trucks. They are utility. He's a welder. They're in landscaping, I believe. And he is actually a carpenter. That's what he says too. So if you ever catch him in here, if you come to Future Lives, his name is Bod. He's from the UK, and he said that that's like a large vehicle. And in fairness, in the States, that's considered a small SUV. So that's why when you said a Matchbox, I thought you were originally saying that Mama's car was like a toy car because it's so small. Because I'm so used to people from the US saying that it's a ittle bitty SUV. When again, it's perfect for our family. So the 3 of us plus the dog plus a little bit of cargo. It's the perfect vehicle. JJ, she works at a haunted house? If she does, we have a few videos on our channel, no lie. One of them's called Realm of Terror. It is ranked nationally as one of the scariest haunted houses. I am not going to lie to you. If some of you watched it, you'd probably come back to a future live and say, I cannot believe you took your child through that. But he, like me, loves it. Absolutely loves it. and we know it's a show. We know it's not reality. So, but that is we had an exclusive ability to film that entire haunt because I know the owner. Yeah, see, and that's so Phoenix. It's funny you say that because I do have a full Mike Myers getup. I had the full blue jumpsuit, the full everything, and I wanted to, one year when we went trick or treating to dress him when he was a little smaller as Chucky, and then me as Mike Myers. He loves, absolutely loves Reapers, and so because of that, we always do almost literally every year a variation of a different kind of Reaper. That's awesome. Do you act, James, or do you do something like tickets or like security, something like that? Because there are different positions that people need to fill. I I could see laughing too, but me, I'm just. And if you watch that one, it's called Realm of Terror. If you watch it all the way through, you'll see me just being like, "Oh my gosh, did you see that? Oh, that's so awesome!" I love it. I love the art. I love the artistry. I love the acting. I love the imagination that goes into it and everything that's put behind it. So for me, it's really an all-inclusive thing, and it's something that he and I share. So it makes it even more special. Oh, this person's walking down the street like it's like 1980 style with like a boombox or something. See, that's the kind of stuff I need to learn about, and I appreciate you dropping that, Danny. So is that held at about the same time? So around harvest time, so like end of October? I don't know if you can hear it, but they're rocking some music walking in. I think that's awesome. It's like it full on brings me back to my kid days when people like would do that. Okay, there you go, JJ. Welcome in, Mohini. Hopefully I said that right. If I didn't, please correct me. And Danny, when you say you dress up, like, is there a specific theme, or you can dress up whatever you'd like? Nice, Phoenix. I will tell you. So, speaking of channel content, our number one video on this channel, no lie, by a factor of like, I honestly think a factor of almost 50, is one short, and it's Son at a Haunters convention. We went to Midwest Haunters convention, just pulling the trigger on a haunted house prop chainsaw. It has, I think, over 250,000 views. When our next most popular video, I think, has like, I don't know, I'm just guessing, has maybe 10,000. When our average video gets like 100. It's just absolutely mind-blowing. We touch, our state that we live in touches a Great Lake, yes. And I'll make it even easier because I did answer this and Martello sort of stopped. I think we lost him, which is fine. I get people come in and out. But the Great Lake that we touch is Lake Michigan. Yeah, it's absolutely wild, Phoenix. Like, it blows my mind. That thing on a daily basis gets like, I don't know, 500 views daily. And then we have long form content that I spent hours and hours and hours of editing and voiceover and you name it, that'll get 30 views. That's kind of like is it kind of like, I'm getting an image of almost a piñata type situation. So you're beating the drum until the candy releases. Rudy, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not totally following that one. So bear with me. I'm gonna read it out loud. Okay, that's cool. I'll talk about a skip up. That way, I talk on the CB radio. I'll be honest with you. I'm lost on that one. That's probably me. In full disclosure. Wait, there was an actual live cat in the barrel? You guys don't still put a live cat in the barrel, right? Well, JJ, we all had that phase. I will tell you, your future is this guy sitting out on your front porch watching your cars to make sure no punks like yourself, and again, I'm referring to myself in this case, do that kind of things to your vehicles now that you own them and you had to pay for them. So just be careful because karma kind of stinks. That's awesome, Phoenix. Like an Enzo style? That's terrible. And I'm just saying that, Danny. I'm sorry. I don't mean to dog other people's cultures, but I love my cats, and I've been a cat person my whole life. And even if the cat ended up surviving that poor thing would be deaf and traumatized. Lover, I'm not following that one either. Bro, my grandpa was going to come over. And a G guy? Silent. I'm not showing that. Come on, my guy. You're welcome in. You can join the conversation, but be productive. I got you, Phoenix. That'll be cool. Are you talking about your grandpa or a cat lover? No worries, Silent. That's why we always we give people the opportunity. This is just a chill chat. We just hang out and talk about whatever comes up, and it sort of like evolves. Right now, we got a couple conversations going on about like Halloween traditions, and I'm not gonna say, Danny, the name of that because I'm not gonna do it justice, but I'll reference it. I'll go back in the chat. Foster Levin? Please don't be offended if I butchered that. No, Silent, you're from the UK too, or England. I apologize because I know most people from England prefer England over the UK. but typically accept either. Do you have a preference? So, but yes, it definitely is 3:15 because we have a few other regulars that come in here, actually from Scotland, from England, and from Ireland, which I know is not part of the UK. And so yeah, it's a late one. Are you up later than usual? Or is this normal for the summer months? Because there are some people in here that tend to pop in that because it's summer, they stay up later than they usually do. Well, that'd be more up my alley, Danny, because I am not a sugar fan, and that is not a adult dietary decision. That is a I've never had a taste for sweets. I've been a salt guy my whole life. I'm not going to lie to you. I appreciate you, and I do love the mate. I'm not lying to you. I think that's an expression that should be used in the States. And I completely agree that it doesn't matter what country you're from. That is empirically true. That's why all are welcome here. But I don't know what the emoji is. You identify as I have no idea what that is. It's so small on my screen. Well, I gave it a shot, Danny. So you got it. Oh, it's an owl. Okay. I appreciate you. I can see it now that you said it. Salty licorice. I can't say that I've had that, but I will tell you the equivalency, at least for me, is the recent fascination with salted caramel. I can do that because of the salt with the caramel. I would never have guessed that either, Phoenix, based on the side. Nice. Not familiar with Derby, but is that inland, north, south, east, or west? Sweet tart ropes. Son used to be into those big time. I hope so, JJ, because it sounds like if your girlfriend didn't keep you out of trouble, you might find yourself in some. Tar with salt. Hey, I will tell you, I'll be the first to say it. I don't yuck somebody else's yum. So if that's what you dig, that's what you dig. It may not be for me, but okay. Well, for what it's worth, that's about where we are in the U.S. We are, at least in North America, we are definitely dead center. Maybe not in the U.S. We're a little north, I guess, for the U.S. But if we're talking North America as a continent, we are dead center. Welcome back, Mary. So I wanted to ask you, Mary, is this the time of year where it's extra dark or extra light in Alaska? Well, count your blessings then, JJ. I am, Danny, but again, the Great Lakes can really substitute pretty well. I know it's not open if you keep venturing, but you can't see the horizon. You gotta work today, Danny? We appreciate you hanging, and you've been a good conversation for sure. So we hope to have you in the lives more often. But do you have to work today? Because I lost Mama a while ago. She has to get up at 4 a.m. for work. So I lost her a bit ago. Huh. Yeah, I struggle with it getting dark at 9 p.m. I'm one of those that's a fan of I like it in the winter when it gets dark around like dinner time. That to me is the right time to get dark. For what it's worth, I'm still scoping for bats because we usually get some pretty good bat activity under the light because they start going to town on the bugs. I don't disagree with you, Phoenix. That is arguably my favorite season. Second favorite's probably winter. Well, there you go, Danny. Good for you. Yeah. So the closest Great Lake to us is Lake Michigan, and it's not far. It's if I went to drive to get there right now, it'd probably take me 40 minutes. And I believe that's the second largest Great Lake behind Superior, if I'm not mistaken. But if you want to see across the lake, you got to get to the top of the former Sears Tower, now called Willis Tower, and then you can see across to Indiana and Michigan. But bear in mind that's over 1,000 feet in the air, and you have to have a perfectly clear day. Otherwise, there is no horizon, and that's why I was saying they bring in a lot of those long boats, those 2 and 3 masters in there, and then they bring them into the city during events, and they'll bring them down the St. Lawrence Seaway, and it's actually pretty cool. I've actually seen the flotillas come through and stuff like that. So nice. How soon do you get snow, Mary? Well, JJ, if we lose you, it's been awesome. We appreciate you hanging out and coming in. So I'm not gonna lie to you, it got muggy again when that rain passed. It is sticky as all get out, and with you saying that it was 61 degrees last time, I'm extremely jealous. That's fall weather. I'd love to be there. Well, for what it's worth, and again, as a member of being on an allied front, I appreciate you for your service, and you rightfully earned any perks you got. So, were you Navy, or since you have the fondness for the water and the boats? These guys on their little scooters. Still don't see any bats. Oh wow. Okay. Well, definitely. You definitely earned your due. So appreciate you for that. So do you do any of the carpentry as a? I don't want to. We call it like a side hustle. Do you do any side projects with it? Like, make certain things. Sell those on the side. because I'd love to be able. My woodworking skills are basic at best. I mean, I built stuff like compost bins, basic ladder racks, stuff like that. But I'd love to have more skills in carpentry. It's something that my father-in-law, unfortunately, he passed about 8 years ago. But he was a self-trained, but he could build anything. He built the vanity in our house. He built. We have a bunch of cabinetry that goes into the wall, and he built all of those. And I was learning slowly from him, but unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to pick up as much skills as I would have liked. Oh, that's awesome. So you get into you're not only out on the water, you're also building the ships. That's amazing. I agree with you, Phoenix. That's my baby boy. I'm surprised he's not staring at me, because Mama left the door open for some odd reason with the air conditioning on. And in fairness, I'm at like my 3-minute mark, so I'm always told Mama's hard and fast rules. On the weekdays, we got to end it at 9:30, because otherwise the dog and the kid don't go to bed. That's exactly it, Danny. It's like a haircut. It's just wood. You can't be afraid of it. You get after it, and you make a mistake. Good news is you got a chunk for the fire pit, and you just go at it again. There's a bat right there. I don't know if anybody caught it. I find them so fascinating. They scare the heck out of Mama. I am pro bat. They can get all the bugs they want. There's another one right there. But they just hunker down under that street light and just go back and forth, just picking off the bugs that hang out in the street lights. No, Danny, you're spot on. You're perfect. JJ, I think we've all done that. Yes, son was so impressed. He actually built a shelf that we bought from IKEA by himself, like a year and a half, 2 years ago. It was a plastic shelf, and he was telling everybody how he built furniture. So yeah, I can definitely say that we love visiting IKEA. I don't necessarily love having the build the stuff we buy, but we love visiting IKEA. Banjosaurus, that's an awesome name. Welcome in. You're coming right as I'm about to wrap. I apologize, but we'd love to have you back. We go live pretty much nightly. We go live at least once a day on one of our channels. 99% of the time it's this channel. And we usually do a nighttime chat. Grape Soda, I remember you from earlier. How are you? That's another thing I respect implicitly. One of the other mods that's in here, his name's Peter. He's from Greece. He speaks Greek, ancient Greek, German, and English. And I got nothing but respect from that. I took 6 years of French, but because I have no ability or anybody, I don't have anybody to speak to, I lost 90% of it. So I went back to Duolingo to refresh myself, but again, without traveling or having somebody to speak it with, I think that would help me. But 5 is amazing, absolutely amazing. So that's a great place to come back to, Grape. I'm ending. I have a hard cutoff at 9:30. That's Mama's rules, and everyone knows. happy wife, happy life. So I'm going to respect her wishes. But we always love to play a game of if you guess a state. We are in the U.S., but if you guess a state, and you're wrong, then I'll give you a hint and we'll go from there. So if you haven't done so, we'd love to have you join the community. If you do, I promise you'll have first dibs at your guess, and I will definitely make sure we hit the right spot. So Danish, Serbian, English, Norwegian, Swedish. Whew. Yeah. Those, and they don't, yeah. The Serbian, the Danish, Norwegian, and Swedish have shared, like, bonds, correct? At least some similarities. The Serbian and English is totally different. Nonetheless, the ability to speak more than one to me fascinates me and is absolutely amazing. And it's something I wish I had that skill. JJ, that is not you. That is IKEA instruction manuals in a nutshell. That is, yeah. That is a lack of assistance in IKEA instruction manuals. So don't worry about that. You are not exclusive to that problem. But everyone, I do appreciate you. Thank you so much. It means the world to us that you hang out with us, that you share part of your day with us. We appreciate you so much. And again, we don't ask anything, but if you do want to support the channel, watching a few of the long form videos, hitting like, sharing them would mean even more to us. But you guys have a great day, depending where you're at, or a great night. We will see you tomorrow. So probably about the same time for sure. So 6:30-ish local for us. So it's 9:30 now. So hope to see you guys tomorrow. You guys take care. Have a great night. I'm reading the last couple here. So I grew up speaking Danish and Serbian. Okay. Your dad was Serbian. Yeah, there was 2 generations ahead of me. There was fluent additional languages. However, due to their thoughts and rules, meaning that generation's thoughts and rules on assimilation, they did not allow our family to learn the ethnic language. And we were only allowed to speak English. So it's a shortcoming of a thought at a time and a place to help the family assimilate that put me where I'm at. But like I said, 6 years of French, and I can say my name. I can ask where the bathroom is. I can point where the library is. But that's about it. So on that note, hope to see you guys tomorrow. You guys take care. I will be back. Have a great night. And on 9 languages, I want to pick that up. If we see you again tomorrow, Danny, I want to pick up what those 9 are. So you guys take care. All our best.